What is good, Lottery Stocks fan? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. GameStop just disclosed earnings, and we all saw how the price reacted, but I want to talk about it. I'm going to cover the earnings. I'm going to cover the charts. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, SPY, Tesla. That's how this video is going to go. Watch until the end. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn post notifications on. First things first, I have a complete write-up. That way we don't have to go through the detailed summary on the earnings sheet. This video would take a little bit longer trying to figure that stuff out. But here is a basic breakdown as to what happened. Net sales for GameStop were $732.4 million, down from $881.8 million last year, which is a 17% drop in sales year over year. Okay, so that's the first thing we have. That is likely due to lower demand, fewer product releases, or operational scale down, so on and so on. Now, they have lower operating expenses, SG&A, selling, general, and admin, $228.1 million, down from $295.1 million. So they cut costs by $67 million, which is just internal restructuring of the company and shows efficiency improvements, right? Now we have a small operating loss, 10.8 million, which is an improvement from a 50.6 million loss last year. So a much smaller loss thanks to cutting and better margins. But this figure includes a $35.5 million impairment charge from international restructuring as well. So it's a little bit smaller than we actually think. Now they have adjusted operating income, excluding impairment and special charges, $27.5 million positive versus $55 million last year, which is a major turnaround in operational performance. Now, here's where the big hitter comes in. They have net income swings going positive. Net income, $44.8 million profit compared to a loss of $32.3 million last year, showing a significant bottom line improvement. On an adjusted basis, net income was $83.1 million versus a loss of $36.7 million, which is a huge turnaround. And this is where everyone is saying, and how you're seeing GameStop beat earnings by 334% or something along the lines of that. Yet the stock is down. I mean, this is crazy. We'll talk about that in a second. Cash and cash equivalents and securities. This is where the fun part comes in for shareholders. They have $6.4 billion in cash, which is up from $1 billion. A massive boost in liquidity could be from asset sales, financing, or crypto holdings. Now, they exited Canada. They completed their divestiture on May 4th, 2025. This is big because they are closing down and they're just basically dismantling useless parts of the business. Now, they also bought Bitcoin, which we know. However, they disclosed that they purchased Bitcoin 4,710. So that is all they purchased, at least until yesterday. They could have loaded up today, and we don't know it, between May 3rd and June 10th. Likely use their improved cash position. This could signal crypto line strategy, yada, yada, yada. Now, they have strong improvement in profitability and cash flow. Aggressive cost cutting and impairment related restructuring are paying off as well. And they also have a positive shift from heavy losses to net income even before adjustments. Bold crypto investment could be risky, yada, yada, yada. So this is where it gets interesting for investors. I'm going to give this a like. I just posted this before I started recording. This is where it gets interesting for investors. The profits that we saw where GameStop had about a 300% increase or so, a lot of it came from cutting instead of actual growth, right? We saw the sales come down, and then we saw them clean up operations and cut a ton of costs, and that's why we saw their earnings beat by hundreds of percentage points. But that is not what investors look for. Now, I'm coming at this from a fundamental standpoint. I'm not coming at this from a retail versus short seller and a meme stock standpoint. So just trying to stay clear-minded and straightforward here. Just from an investment standpoint, this is not what investors are looking for. They're looking for what is the business model. And right now, GameStop doesn't have their finger on the business model yet. So they improved earnings per share by slashing costs and headcount, but not by growing product sales. And you can only cut so much. This is why investors turn away from this. You can only cut so much, but eventually it hits your ability to operate, because what are you operating in? What is the business model? But for GameStop, for the benefit of GameStop, right? They're not chasing dying revenue streams anymore. They're not doubling down on physical games or used disc sales. They're not, opening new stores. What they're doing is they're closing down the most unprofitable shitters that they got. And then they're also just trying to figure out, yes, where can we cut? But where can we cut to the point where as we cut, we transition our whole business into something else? And right now, they don't tell us what they're exactly doing, but maybe Ryan Cohen has a plan. So they're an iconic brand. They have no debt, asymmetric upside via Bitcoin, and optionality to evolve into a hybrid digital financial / gaming platform. Based off of earnings alone, just straight earnings, okay? This has nothing to do with anything else. The company's still technically around a $17 stock. Okay, we're trading at a bit of a premium alongside that, but it's GameStop, right? Retail has been in this for such a long time. Nobody has sold, and if supply and demand was real in the market, it should be more expensive than this. But overall, I mean, you can't be mad with this earnings. Yet the stock is down 4%. This is purely based off of short sellers taking advantage and knocking the price down away from the gamma ramp. It's simple. We saw all of the shares be borrowed from XRT. It dropped down to nothing. We saw all of the shares be borrowed from GMEU. A couple of things. Something we didn't see was AMC follow Bitcoin. AMC's actually, or GameStop. AMC's actually still green today. And this is the first sign that I like to see, because I do think they're just still a little bit of a basket today, even though GameStop kind of depegged itself from AMC. I do think they still are going to move in tandem. With that being said, I think GameStop is going to rebound personally, but the chart says otherwise. We broke below key levels. We broke out of the bottom of this wedge instead of breaking to the upside and holding it. And we also broke below 29 bucks, and we're holding under 29 bucks, which is not something that we want to see. Ultimately, where we have to hold is, you can see right where it climbed right here. Move this to these wicks. This looks much better, right? We see it reject off of these two wicks right here, and now we came and we built a base. Ultimately, we should hold 28.40, 28.45 on GameStop. You break under that, it's going to get dangerous. Why is it going to get dangerous? Well, the same way a gamma ramp works to the upside, it works to the downside. And anyone who had early on $25 calls, $26 calls that are in the money still are going to lose value very, very fast the closer you get to those strike prices. A couple things I do want to note. RSI could possibly double bottom right here at the 50. That is something that we want to see. What does that mean? That means the rest of the week after today, we want to see GameStop go green. We want to see a bounce off of this. That way we can hold the stronger uptrend, as well as gotten max relief while holding this stronger uptrend for GameStop, just from a technical standpoint. Now, when did GameStop purchase Bitcoin? Possibly back here. And also possibly, this is where it's interesting, right? This was almost useless. GameStop said they purchased Bitcoin between May 3rd and June 10th, 2025 for cash. Why they put June 10th in there, I don't really know, because we know they didn't buy it June 10th. We saw that video, and the video was prior to June 10th, and they said it was Ryan Cohen saying, yes, we bought Bitcoin. It was during the Bitcoin conference. So I don't know why they put these dates in. Long story short, the most GameStop could be is about 17-18% on their position. Still making a very good profit. They could also be out of their position. They could also, today after earnings, have been loading the absolute boat, and they could be announcing something soon. We didn't have an earnings call. I think that's coming on the 12th, which is tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong if you guys do know that. Now, we also saw inflation data come out, rising to 2.4%. The market is still up on this news and still remains resilient. I don't know why. This actually shows, in my opinion, that the Fed is not going to cut rates anytime soon. In June, July, It still leaves us with the most likely cut in September or later, yet the market is still moving up. I don't like the SPY where it is. You guys know that. I don't like buying the SPY at 604. I think that the floor is going to fall out beneath people at some point, and they're not going to be ready for it. We haven't gotten a retracement to the degree that I wanted to get a retracement to, and I don't know when it's coming, but I don't enjoy buying the SPY up here. It's at all-time highs basically. It's right around that level. I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, the U.S.-China trade deal includes a total of 55% tariffs for the U.S. The current U.S. tariff rate on China is 30% as of the May 12th deal. Did the U.S. just raise tariffs on China in a trade deal? We had Trump come out today, and he said our deal with China is done, subject to final approval with President Xi and me. Full magnets and any necessary rare earths will be supplied upfront by China. Likewise, we will provide to China what was agreed to, including Chinese students using our colleges and universities, which has always been good with me. We are getting a total of 55% tariffs. China is getting 10%. Relationship is excellent. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I guess, I don't know what outlook you want to look at that. Tesla 333.14 up 2.15%. And yeah, I didn't talk about this much, but most of this is just noise. We have news on the tariffs. We have partnerships with other countries. Then all of a sudden we want to go to war with them. And then it's back to square one. SPY is still green. SPY is still green. Trump could, announce war on China, and SPY is probably going to rip to 623 at this point. Tesla recaptured this trend, but I think the highest we're going to go is 340.40. I don't see Tesla going higher than that. And I am searching for puts here for the medium term. I love to enter puts up above these elevated levels. I think Tesla is going to come down lower. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the video and on GameStop's earnings. What am I doing with my GameStop position? If you want to get in the Discord, make sure to jump in. It's the top link in the description of the video right here. And also, you can get 60 free stocks, sell those stocks, join the Discord, pay for Discord. You'll also probably make your money back in one trade by getting the Discord, and you'll probably pay for it for life. So make sure to join the top link in the description. We're getting a lot of new members in there. No, I'm not going to DM you. If I DM you, it will be publicly announced in Stock Talk group chat, which is the main group chat. So yeah, get in there, guys. Go check all the links under the video and let me know your thoughts on GameStop earnings in the comments down below. As far as everything goes, we are at a higher risk spot where GameStop for the longest time has gotten hammered down. Anytime we surpass this level at $29, they hammer it straight into the floor, hammer it straight into the floor, straight into the floor, straight into the floor. And now we're here again where they're going to try and do it again. It's such an unfortunate scenario because we know that the market is just absolutely screwed up and not fair whatsoever. What I will state, June 20th, this was kind of the day coming into June 11th where I said, hey, this is to myself now. The June 20th calls that I do hold, most of them I've rolled already to July 18th, and that is what I have been accumulating. But the June 20th, I was saying, listen, I'll wait till June 11th, see what goes on after earnings. After that, the June 20th they're more and more likely from here to get smoked. Holding them into next week is just high risk. Next Friday is their expiration, June 20th. But at the same time, and that is only because of theta, this is where it gets so interesting. We got hammered down hard, sub 29, but everything has been borrowed. Okay, we have a C plus 35 on these FTDs, but we have the quarterly ETF rebalancing June 20th to that Monday. So that over that weekend, in this zone right here, this is the deadline for them to deliver exact securities, not like-kind securities. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days. They have about 6-7 trading days to deliver all of exact securities, not like-kind securities, one of them being GameStop, probably most, if not all of them being GameStop. How high will that bring us? I do not know. I do not know. But what I want to see is FOMO kick in and that buying pressure force gamma. That is ultimately what I'm looking for here. But yeah, that is it, guys. That is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching my fun value out of the video, all that other stuff. Make sure to subscribe, turn post notifications on, check the links, join the Discord. I love you all. God bless. Lottery stocks out.